Bant Knightfall here. In addition to, you know, Vizier, Devoted Druid, Duskwatch Recruiter combos to eventually kill with Walking Ballista. We also get to use Knight of the Reliquary alongside Retreat to Coralhelm to kind of like loop through our deck and make our Knight of the Reliquary very large. And then we can either pump it with Kessig Wolf Run or just like tap down blockers with fetch lands as we go and eventually kill them. So something I said before I just started recording here for people on YouTube in the future is that in my previous experience with this deck, both the Kessig Wolf Run and the Stomping Ground are a little bit unnecessary and awkward. So that's something I'm definitely going to want to keep track of while I'm playing here tonight. Like how many times while comboing was the Kessig Wolf Run necessary and how many times while I wasn't comboing was drawing it just like really terrible. This deck, I mean, creature combo decks like this have a lot of really sweet lines to them on average. The thing that feels really strange to me about the creature base in here is pretty clean, which I appreciate. One, Tireless Tracker is a weird card in my opinion to have fun of, because in my experience playing, Tireless Tracker isn't a card that you're really like courting for or tutoring up very often. So like, if it's a card that we're not searching for very often, like, why is there only one of it? Either we want to draw this so we want to play multiples of them, or it's not particularly good so we shouldn't play it at all. I think while this deck does have, it's pretty good. Get turn 1 Dork into Knight into company. It's like Todd Stevens' dream hand. Thanks for all the streams and the YouTube content. Omna Novi, thank you for re-upping for the 4th month in a row there. Thanks for shipping your Twitch Prime this way again. Thanks for keeping me employed. Yeah, we have 2 Spell Quellers in the sideboard. I think like what's better, Spell Queller versus others is like kind of debatable depending on like what decks you expect to play against. It depends on the matchup super fast. Like a good example is blue-white control. I always like to leave Blood Moon in against because in my experience, blue-white control, like their colonnades and search for cancels are so important that even when you don't completely lock them out with Blood Moon is still like having a meaningful impact on the game by cutting them off of those things. They just like have a Liliana here. We're just gonna like bury us deep in the ground. Tireless Tracker, God bless. That's much better than Liliana for us, especially now because I get to go ahead and like grab Hallowed Fountain here. Ooh, I sequenced my lands wrong. I should have played the Misty Rainforest here so that way I could fetch basic plains with this. Now I'm gonna have to fetch another shock land, which kind of sucks. I could have been 2 points higher and just had like basic plains Hallowed Fountain in play here if I would have sequenced my fetch land slightly better there. While Jun's not a purely aggressive deck, a lot of the time these games tend to grind a little bit, and then when they're grinding, the reach from Kolaghan's Command and Lightning Bolt can steal the game for the opponent. Okay, that card generically is pretty good against us, but it's like not particularly impressive on this board, right? That is a retreat to Coralhelm. Alright, deal. In for a 4/4 into a Stomping Ground here, and then if they don't deal with the Knight of the Reliquary, we can potentially untap and kill them. This is a 0/2 from the Liliana the Last Hope Plus, so I'm just not going to bother attacking with it here. Might as well leave it back. Run and get more water at some point soon. I'm all out of soda and water, chat. Running out of drinks. Running out of drinks. Yeah, Reflector Mage is a nice edict buffer here too. Yep. Goodbye night. Good night moon. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. I'm just very unlucky, opponent. Nothing to see here. Just no plays. Incredibly unlucky. Nothing to cast. Hail Hydrate, right? Hydration is important. Someone asked me earlier, what's my secret to staying pepped up? Hydration and food are definitely a big part of that. Keep my energy strong. I know, it would be really awesome if somebody loved me enough to bring me more water. you have any hot takes on the Masterpiece box? Wizards is a for-profit company that is there to try and make money. It does not surprise me that they're willing to gouge you. I just really wish if they were going to gouge us on premium products, they would do it with, like, things that contain fetch lands. It's two pretty good threats. If they don't have double Doomblade here, we could be okay. It is kind of a lukewarm take. You're not wrong. I'm like sitting down here starving too. I've just been living on snacks. Whoa. If they don't have a fatal push, they are DED dead, chat. Do you have a fatal push, opponent? Do you have a fatal push, or am I gonna do this? Are we gonna do this thing? We're gonna throw down. Ain't no thing, chicken wang. Oh yeah. Nerd of the Reliquary, gonna give it to you. Gonna give it to you. Just get him. Get him. Alright, so we are here for the grind. This is probably... It's a Vizier out matchup. I feel like this is a Vizier out matchup. This is an okay one of these. This dies to Last Hope too, right? Which is just like really bad for us. Dusk Dawn seems kind of sweet. Probably want Path to Exile here too. I think I want the rest of these. Selfless Spirit's like kind of medium. I don't think I really want to board in more cards that die to, what's her name? While Retreat was okay there, I think these games tend to get grindy. And Retreat's kind of a medium draw, so I think I'm actually going to trim those out. Especially because they're going to be more hesitant to play around the combo here since they know we're playing it. And what's my last cut here? I can just see trimming a mana creature. No, I think Reflector Mage is pretty reasonable. Just like sets them back. No, I like Reflector Mage. I'm gonna trim a mana creature. Let's do that. No, you need the Walking Ballista so you can combo with Devoted Druid. I'm leaving in one Vizier of the Remedies. That way we can Chord of Calling for it on occasion if it were in a good spot to combo off of it. So we're gonna grab Breeding Pool here or Temple Garden. Probably Temple Garden. See how quickly this eats a Doomblade. He's dead, Jim. Extra land drop here is A+. Get to go ahead and fetch this in and cast this here Scavenging Ooze. Again, gonna feel real bad when they like kill your turn 1 play and then you play a 2 and then they lay on you the Veil on the play. Just like pretty hard rock to crawl back out of. Probably fetching a basic forest with this Misty Rainforest. Try and preserve our health total a little bit. See what their turn 3 is here. It'll depend on whether or not we play Knight, Nissa, or Witness next turn. Scavenging Ooze of their own. That makes Knight a pretty medium card. If they aggressively take the Noble Hierarch here, I'm kind of incentivized to jam the Eternal Witness now, because playing the Eternal Witness proactively gives me the ability to get some value off of it, whereas if I wait to play it and they keep holding up green mana, my Eternal Witness is not going to get to do anything in the future. So I think I'm just going to like cash her in and pick up Misty Rainforest back up rather than have her do nothing. This is a good example of a position where Reflector Mage would be really good, so I'm glad I left a lot of copy of those in my deck. It's definitely something that I'm interested in drawing. Next turn, we could potentially Chord for Reflector Mage, but that's probably a little bit too aggressive. Night stock gets a lot worse when they have a Scavenging Ooze in play, because they're able to devour our graveyard with the Scavenging Ooze. We're going down to 11 here, which is getting kind of low. Again, their deck can sometimes be aggressive between Bloodbraid Elf and Lightning Bolt, so we want to be a little bit conservative with our health total when possible. Tarmogoyf at least like isn't particularly intimidating, right? Like this is a card that is going to get worse and worse because there are 2 Scavenging Oozes in play. What am I interested in doing here? I don't have any particularly useful 2s. In the 3s, I have Reflector Mage. Is courting for Reflect? Yeah, I feel like we just, like, need some time, right? And, like, resetting their Scavenging Ooze to be something smaller sounds appealing. Play Nissa and Plus. I don't think play Nissa and Plus is good, because we're, like, pretty far behind on board, and my health total is, like, already 10. So if I like, fall behind further, I'm gonna, like, really, really be in a bad spot. Went ahead and cracked my fetch land proactively here, so that way my opponent can't, like, crack their fetch or, like, kill one of my creatures in response to me fetching next turn. Don't get caught with your pants down. The real question here is, do I want to block their Tarmogoyf with the Reflector Mage? I think I do. Because if they want to kill, like, my... Well, I guess they could kill... If they, no! Oh, God. Oh, that was a misclick. I was thinking I wanted the block there, and then I clicked on it for the triggered ability. Oh, that's unfortunate. Alright, well, not blocking now. It's been a long day. It's been a long day. 5 mana. Shock in the 5th mana. What? Just super, super punished for not sending this back from where it came. Alright, now we're gonna send plus. We just, like, don't have anything else going on. Alright, in for a Reflector Mage. Nafix, thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month. Thanks for shipping your Bezo bucks this way. You have a K command here? Sure. I think just, like, very close to dying at this point. They have Tarmogoyf plus 2 cards I don't know here. Probably going to double block a Scavenging Ooze this turn. Just, like, not beating a removal spell here. I guess I could double block the other Scavenging Ooze, but that leaves us actually dead to Lightning Bolt, which feels bad, but we're probably figuratively dead to Lightning Bolt. I guess if this Nissa finds something useful here, like show me another mage or something. Okay. For doing. Thank you, Detroit Lion. I appreciate it. Send the Scavenging Ooze back from where it came. I'm going to cast this other Knight of the Reliquary, dropping to 4. Unfortunately, these Knights are basically 2/2s because the Scavenging Ooze just, like, devours our graveyard. Oh, they had a Doomblade too. It's unfortunate. So there's 4 creatures in my graveyard right now. Their last card is Scavenging Ooze. Okay, I mean, I kind of feel like they're leaving us room to get back in this game here, right? Because, like, they don't have good attacks now because they didn't leave green mana up for some reason. Yeah, alright. Well, shoot. We're doing the most for the community. Thank you, Detroit. As always, all unclaimed bits right now are going into the SCG fund. So thanks for helping get me an SCG con. Do I plus the Nissa and Scry, or do I try and get lucky with a 0 again? I think I'm supposed to try and get lucky with a 0 again. I'm supposed to try and get lucky with... Yes. Yes. Put that one right into play. I'm going to go ahead and crack this and see what we find. So last card is Scavenging Ooze. I'll leave myself dead to Lightning Bolt. And like now my Knight's big enough that like they can't really shrink it with the Scavenging Ooze in just a single turn here. I think Cast Down's the best one. I think it like misses the least is basically what it comes down to. Please just play the Scavenging Ooze. That'd be so good for me. That is less good for me. I think I'm just getting a Gavony Township here. Come on. So our last card is Scavenging Ooze. Path. Alright. So I can put this here, and I can go chump chump and keep my tracker. Alternatively, I could trade here, chump here, and then I'm left staring down 2 Scavenging Oozes. What's going on, Jet? Yeah, last league of the day. Match one of the last league. It's like, what's more valuable here? I think I'd rather keep my tracker and just like let them keep scavenging or Tarmogoyf. I think this is what we do. This Chord of Calling gets Reflector Mage next turn, which is kind of nice. Which means I'm not dead again. No, I feel like I want to untap with my tracker, right? Holy crap, they tapped out. And I drew a thing. I think I just start by zeroing the Nissa again. See where this goes. That is potentially very good. I mean, they still have like K Command and Lightning Bolt that probably get us here, but we're kind of working our way towards an okay spot. Like, if we can just like fade removal spells for forever, we could maybe end up okay. Why should I not crack the fetch? Like, what's the appeal to not cracking the fetch? I kind of want the Duststone, I guess, right? So if I go block here, chump block here, they eat 4 things, which kills my Tireless Tracker, but then I just, like, untap, cast Dusk, like, clear their board. That seems good for me. Do I have Finks in the deck? I have 1 Finks in the deck. Yeah, I have a Finks in the deck. Well, dead, not tapping, not cracking leaves us dead to Culligan's Command, or lets us not die to Culligan's Command. The Nissa, we've been very fortunate with the Nissa. You're not wrong. Battlefield. Because I wanted them to use all their mana, because I knew I was casting Dust on to clear their thing next turn anyways. Alright, this is fine. So their last card is Scavenging Ooze. So I'm going to crack this and Chord for Scavenging Ooze here. I still have a Scavenging Ooze in my deck, right? And then Scavenging Ooze gets me out of bolt range. Yes, it does. Then I get to, like, eat all the food before their Scavenging Ooze comes to play. And then, like, my skews can potentially kill theirs. Thanks, Nofrix. I appreciate the bits. There's how many creatures in bins? They have 3. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can gain all 4 health next turn. These decks are really sweet. When these decks are good, they're kind of great. They're so much fun to play. I'm gonna dig for yep, that right there. That's what I'm gonna dig for. That one. Get it out of here. I think the only way I lose this game is by them ripping burn spells, so I'd like to minimize the ability of them to kill me with burn spells. When creature combo decks generate puzzles, and as someone who plays Magic for, like, those feel smart moments that puzzles give you, I do really enjoy this style of Magic. So I'm gonna go ahead and kill this Liliana the Last Hope. It's just like, again, just like the problem is that, like, the decks, like, what my opponent's playing aren't particularly popular in Modern. So, like, while this game was really sweet, I don't think it's representative of, like, what the average game of Modern looks like. Yeah, I left the Reflector Mage back because they have Raging Ravine. I can also gain 2 more health here if we really need to. Sure. So unless they have, like, a Fatal Push or an Erupticare or something for the Scavenging Ooze here, they're, like, pretty dead, right? This could be, like, a desperation, like, slide back my Liliana trying to find a threat. Nope, sure, this still doesn't die to bolts. That's fine for me. Do you have a Doomblade? You have a Scavenging Ooze that's not going to be particularly useful. Oh, this is game 2. We won game 1. Game 1, we killed them with the retreat combo. That's a Chord of Calling. There's a Reflector Mage in my deck still, right? There's a Reflector Mage in my deck. Actually, get to do this. Oh, I guess I can't, is there a basic forest in my deck still? There's not. That's awkward. This is game 2 and we're up a game. Yeah, I played a little fast and loose here. I can't kill the Liliana this turn. It's probably fine, because, like, this is a 9/9, but definitely could have played that turn better. Collected Company, Devoted Druid. I'm gonna bottom that, top this. Finally getting my Jack Ryan bits, put these towards owling mine. We'll do Warblazer, I appreciate it. Well, I'm glad I said this is gonna be the last league tonight. It's probably gonna be a long league. Neither of these are my last Reflector Mage. Let's bottom those. Can I kill them here? This is 18, 20, and like a bunch of green mana. Maybe. I might actually have lethal here. I haven't counted though. I don't feel like counting, so I'm just gonna go ahead and attack the Liliana the last two. I don't think it really matters. Like a 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other type situation. Yeah, there's another Reflector Mage in my deck, so if they try to block with that thing, I'm definitely less like firing off the Collected Company. Oh, I could have Nissa ulted them. Yeah, totally. That's fine. I think we're like deep into can't lose territory at this point. Opponents just like playing Magic still because they're a masochist. Yeah, I'm not flashing back this dawn. It's just like not something we're doing. Go. Are we done now? Did you really have a card you could draw? What's the word? I need to eat another snack before I continue making piles of mistakes. Alright, well that was a heck of a game. Before we move along, let's actually chill really quick here. What's going on, folks? We're currently just crossed hour 11. This is going to be our last deck of the day, playing some Bant Vizier. Remember, if you're hungry for more Hoagland content after I'm done, you can always head over to my YouTube channel. The best way to support me if you want to keep me here day in and day out is by subscribing to my channel, though. My subscribers are the people that keep me employed here full-time. Big shout out to all of them. And of course, past subscribing, you'd also support me by checking out some of my very wonderful sponsors. Cardsphere.com would love to help you turn some of your cards into other cards directly with other players. There's no haggling. They just take a 1% fee off the top. InkedGaming.com would love to help you customize your gaming experience. Using code Jeff12, you can save 12% on custom playmats, mouse pads, binders, and bags with them. CoolStuffInc.com buys and sells a lot of cool stuff, including TCG singles. Using promo code Jeff5, you can save 5% on Magic, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh cards with them. And of course, this stream wouldn't be possible without viewers like Anaronix, Justin, Nivik, and all of y'all out there. Thanks for hanging out today, folks. Remember, if you are enjoying it and you are new here, hit the follow button on the stream. Following doesn't cost you anything. It lets you know when I go live and with what. All right, I'm going to mute myself and eat a snack here real quick. And probably sit down. We're getting approaching 8 o'clock here. I'm an old man, etc., etc. Hellboy, thank you for the 9-month free subscription there. I appreciate that. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Welcome back. Top of our deck's been pretty hot here. If they... So, Night comboing actually requires us to crack a bunch of fetch lands. So I think we don't actually have enough health left to actually Night combo here, which kind of sucks. To get all the way up to 17. God, I don't even know what the math is to figure out and if we do or not. I probably should sit there and count it. Because it gets muddled because we can... what's it called? We can, like, float mana for Kessig Wolf Run on the in-between. Alright, so Eidolon adds another wrinkle. Should I assume they can do 3 to me here or no? I feel like I probably can't assume that they can do 3 to me. I could just, like, hang out and cast Collected Companies, right? Like, Knight of the Reliquary gives me a 4th piece of mana to just, like, cast Collected Company with. So I could just, like, end step Company, untap Company. And, like, I already drew Vizier, so I could potentially, like, hit infinite mana next turn. So... yeah, with one card in hand from this board and Collected Company, I feel like I have more than one turn here. So I'm just going to go ahead and pass. Because remember, Eidolon isn't every spell. It's only spells that cost 3 or less. So, like, Collected Company's not going to deal 2 damage to me. Always enjoy the content and relevant insights. Thank you very much. Thank you for the 3-month resub there, Blow. I appreciate that. Welcome back. So, here's the question. Do I block with Knight and then just let whatever else is going to happen here? Or do I Company and hope to... I guess my Company can hit Reflector Mage after I block with Knight. So that's probably fine. I guess I'm going to block with Knight and then cast Collected Company. Because they'd have to have... I guess if they have 2 3-damage spells here, I die. Because they'd go 3 me, Eidolon hits me for 2, Grim Lavamancer hits me for 2. Like, what's more likely? The problem is that, like, if I Collected Company before blocks, Devoted Druid, like, really isn't a blocker. But I guess, like, Devoted Druid paired with Reflector Mage is still plenty. But, like, if this Coco misses... I mean, I'm not getting a definite kill. Like, by not casting the Collected Company first, I could be risking dying to the cards that they have in the hand. Yeah, I think I'm gonna cast the Collected Company before blocks. That sounds great. Love you. Could you bring me some water too, or my tea out of the fridge? You're the best. Favorite wife. My wife is great. Eidolon hits me because I wouldn't be blocking it. This is like a fine company. It's like not an absurd company, but it's just like it plays, right? Listen, she's my favorite wife because of the best word in the English language. Default. By default. Yeah, sufficient is a good way to phrase it, right? It's like this is good enough. Like it'll play. At least an hour, maybe more. We're in match 2, but the first match took a while. That's a bolt, so we're killing... Are we just like... They could like double upstairs me here. So I assume they're like double upstairsing and then like grimming down the Duskwatch Recruiter, but then I can just like kill them next turn, right? Potentially. Nope, just not doing anything. All right, weird. Okay. All right, so with 2 knights, this retreat to Coralhelm should be very lethal. Sweet. He's been like weird games of Magic against Burn. Games where Burn draws more than 3 lands have so much play to them. What do I want to trim here? The retreat to Coral, again, like, even though it was, like, okay that game, I'm pretty sure this is pretty bad in this matchup, right? My gut says it's pretty bad. Is this a matchup where Chord of Calling is too slow? Oh, there's a Lone Missionary up here. Yeah. But at the same time, like, I kind of want Chord of Calling to, like, find Lone Missionary and Kor Firewalker, right? Trimming Recruiter is fine. Maybe this is not a Unified Will matchup. You can see this not being a Unified Will matchup. I think it also just like not being an Eternal Witness matchup. That's pretty clean. I don't hate this. Got 31 company hits. I think this is pretty reasonable. I don't think Qasali's good enough. I don't think Path is good enough. Or anything with large creatures, like Tarmogoyfs and Delve creatures. I think Reflector Mage is good, especially because we have 7 1-mana X elements. Reflector Mage is a card that can like help us not fall behind on board. It's definitely a Finks matchup. 10 out of 10 a Finks matchup. So like, Queller is easily killed, but like, easily killed qualifies for most of our deck. And like, we have a lot of must-kill targets, so like, adding another must-kill target, I think is valuable. You want to trim the Vizier combo? No, I don't want to trim the Vizier combo. Like, Vizier combo makes them like, have to respect us. R-E-S-P-C-T. Tell you what it means to Vizier. Yeah, just like, anytime Queller dies to anything other than Searing Blades, it's like a win for us. Just like, basically in this matchup, we want to be able to like, anytime we can turn a creature into a healing salve in this matchup, it's a win for us. Just like, anytime a creature reads like, they discarded a card, deal 3 to the creature instead of 3 to us, like, I count that as a win. This probably doesn't do enough, right? And I feel incentivized to fetch Shock too, so I'm gonna go ahead and mulligan. The Burn players respect nothing, their only allegiance is fire. You're not wrong, Pikes. You're not wrong. Second Noble Hierarch. I'm actually gonna be a little bit greedy and bottom this. One of the best ways you can unmulligan in this matchup is your opponent plays Goblin Guide on 1, so I like not topping anything that's not a land. Oh, did I not update the Stream Decker? Yeah, I forgot to update the Stream Decker. I got sent the wrong list to start. Yes! Fist pump! Hedge the Goblin Guide, get rewarded. Alright, so... Knightfall. Alright, Stream Decker is fixed now. Get me a Temple Garden. Man, if we get to untap with this Noble and just play like turn 2 Firewalker, that would be so absurd. Just to go like tap land Firewalker on 2. Oh, is Noble not dead? Poor little Noble. She never stood a chance, chat. She was too pure for this world. She was too pure for what you monsters put her through. At least it wasn't Searing Blaze. As someone who's had many a mana creatures be Searing Blazed over the years, At least it wasn't Searing Blaze. Alright, no blocks. Kill me. Dead to Lightning Bolt. God bless you. So we were drawing Recruiter, which means if we accompanied into Vizier, they were dead. We would have missed. Nah, I call almost every time. It's like block, have it. This hand doesn't do anything. Have I gone on record yet how much I hate Kessig Wolf Run and Stomping Ground? I would like the record to reflect that I trash talked Kessig Wolf Run and Stomping Ground before this league started. No, I think this hand needed a 2-drop or a 1-drop badly enough that like keeping a land on top there was bad. Yeah, they're probably okay if you cut spells, but like on 21 lands, they're pretty bad. Mercy. Mercy. And this is kind of a good example of like where these creature combo decks kind of struggle. Like I mentioned, like the Jund matchup was really sweet and has a lot of awesome lines in it, but like these decks just have so many 3 and 4 mana cards in them that just like they can't keep up with decks like Burn on average in terms of just like raw efficiency. Just like you spend so much time with 3 mana cards in your hand, and like your mana base is awkward, and there's a lot of things working against you. We're just like very dead. Very, very dead. Like I said, if you're playing a lot of games of Honest Magic, this archetype is very good, but anything linear and efficient just like tends to like get right up underneath you. Whenever people talk about Stoneforge Mystic pushing Burn out of the format, I'm always like, have you ever played with Burn? Have you ever played against Burn? Like, what part of that experience made you thought they care about turn 3 Batterskull? Or, like, couldn't kill a Stoneforge Mystic? Please tell me more, person who hasn't played Modern. I agree, Pikes. I think, like, Green, Black, and Jund are, like, still even okay against this deck. I think this deck these types of decks struggle against things that are really linear, while not also simultaneously not slam dunking the mid-range matchups. They're like competitive in the mid-range matchups, but they don't slam dunk them. I agree that playing a deck in Modern that lines up poorly against linear decks is generally not a good place to be in life. That's why, as someone who loves creature combo decks, I haven't been playing them in Modern. So I don't think they're particularly well positioned because of how they're unable to keep up with decks like Burn and decks like Storm, even decks like Tron to a degree. It's a hot fire evening. The best piece of advice I can give you for playing any 4-color deck is think about what you're fetching before you fetch it. Know what lands every land in your hand is getting before you even pick your deck up. Form a cohesive game plan to map having all your colors out. Yeah, Jace just like finally showed up and was like, look, I have these decks that I'm competitive in, but I'm not overbearing because this is Modern, and there's lots of things that are competitive in Modern. And unlike the crazy Magic players who think they know how everything works without actually playing games, Jace didn't actually destroy the format. Volmer, cheers are like it's like throwing pennies at me or dollar bills. Every bit you send or drop in chat there gives me a penny, and I appreciate that. So thank you for the support. It amazes me how constantly Magic players will just like fail to learn from their past mistakes. Just like the constant string of, well, Jace and Bloodbraid were going to be too good and they were going to ruin Modern. Oh, now we can't unban Stoneforge Mystic because that card's definitely too good and will certainly ruin Modern. It's just like, well, we like think about this for a second. Maybe we were definitely wrong last time, so we might be wrong this time, huh? More pennies for the cam girl. Thank you, Deadpool. There are people who genuinely believe with a straight face that they will look you in the eyes and tell you that they believe Stoneforge Mystic would ruin Modern. And they just, in their heart of hearts, that is something they believe somehow. It's bizarre to me. Here's a shiny penny. Check up that SCG Con clock. Thank you, Cloud Azir. I appreciate that. You did get a cheer icon. What about Chrome Box? Cards that are degenerate shouldn't be in Modern. Modern has enough degeneracy in it without adding cards like Hypergenesis or Blazing Shoal or Chrome Mox. Like those Rate of Flame, those cards can stay gone. Cards like Stoneforge Mystic that like pretty much only slot into fair decks. Cards on the ban list that would only slot into fair decks or slower combo decks should not be in the ban list for the most part. With some small exceptions like Ponder and Preordain, which are just like boring cards to play against. A sweet cheese bowl. Humans would not have trouble versus Stoneforge Mystic. Humans has Kite Sail, Freebooter, as well as Reflector Mage to bounce the Germ token. Lots of good ways to tempo Stoneforge Mystic out of the game. I think Birthing Pod's a fine card for Modern. Grave Troll's a card that enables kind of degenerate things, so that card can stay gone. Again, just like I would unban the slower, more interesting combo cards, and I would unban things that are incredibly fair. Yeah, I agree, Ashbrosia. I always love when people are like, Modern's all degenerate linear mirror matches and it's just sideboarding and blah blah blah. And I'm like, well, what decks are you playing? They're like, well, I'm playing Bird and I'm playing Valakut and I'm playing Infect. It's like, really? You're only playing linear decks that don't interact with the opponent really, and your view is like Modern is all linear decks. It's like, that's like showing up to Legacy with Goblin Charbelcher and being like, this format sucks, everybody has Force of Will and I lose. There's no skill, they just have Force of Will and I die. It's like, well, maybe your decisions on how you pick your deck impact your experience playing the format. It's almost like people just like don't get that like every kind of archetype is viable in Modern. You just have to like pick the archetype you actually want to play. Jitty should stay banned for the same reason that Punishing Fire is banned. The games of Magic that Jitty is involved in are just miserable games of Magic the Gathering. We beat Valakut twice, we beat Burn twice, and we died to, Panza? Died to Panza. I feel like there's a subset of people that they believe, there's people that believe a couple of things. One, there's people that believe that like every time you add a card to the ban list in a format like Modern, like the game has failed, which is absurd to me because like Modern has such a deep card pool that like assuming they're gonna test for everything is silly because it's just like impossible, right? There's just like so many combinations of cards that like at some point some come up and you need to ban you need to ban things. Another thing, they asked to fight, could I use my sword? I think that's only fair, Wannabe Beetle. The other thing is that there's a lot of people that think the only appropriate reason to ban things in Modern is because of raw power level, and I don't think that's true. I think banning cards because they generate a bad gameplay experience is a valid reason to ban things. And like, what's a positive gameplay experience is definitely subjective, but I think there's definitely a subset of ways you could define what in general is a positive gameplay experience and then follow them. If I played any good Modern polymorph decks, we played a bunch of blue-green polymorph at the end of last year. You can find, or earlier this year actually, you can find them on my website. Think they should ban Blood Moon / Bridge and Trade Hoses with that mindset. I would. If I was in charge of Modern, I would get rid of those cards that create the very negative gameplay experience, in my opinion. The Zombies deck today was very, very bad. I think to fail is human. I think if you've never failed, that means you haven't tried hard enough. I think the idea that you have to reban something after you unbanned it makes you a failure is just like kind of absurd. I should have left a white source up here, I think. So that way I could like get Gavony Township, but whatever, I'm just gonna attack with 2 Knights the Reliquary here. What's going on, McPickle? Yeah, Golgari Grave Troll was fine for a long time. It got rebanned because WotC R&D decided to print Prized Amalgam and Cathartic Reunion and Insolent Neonate and a bunch of other messed up cards. Am I dead yet? Well, I mean, to be fair, I'm almost always awake at this hour. I'm just generally not live. My goal while streaming moving forward is to do at least 1 evening stream per week to kind of catch some of the people that can't catch me live during my daytime US hours. In a way, I'm really kind of glad we queued into Burn. I think Burn is kind of the litmus test for decks in this format, and this really kind of highlighting just like one of the biggest issues that archetypes like this tend to have in Modern. Again, just like, you can only shove so many 3 and 4 drops into your modern deck before you just like get mercilessly destroyed by these decks that are just more efficient than you. Corto, thank you for the bits. I appreciate it. Welcome. Well, I can play this 2/2 Knight of the Reliquary, I guess. I can play this 2/2 Duskwatch Recruiter. Don't mind me. We'll ever get IRL Pokemon Go Stream. So that's awkward because I have to like hold 2 devices at once. I need a device to play on and another device to stream from. No, this is the 3rd burn deck in a row, actually. Both our losses in this league were to burn. God bless Jack Ryan. Oh, this isn't burn. This is 8-whack. Maybe this is marginally better for us. I don't know. Probably not. This might be our last one this evening, chat. Might be our last one this evening. Sugar, we're going down. Going down in a really luau. Sugar, we're going down, swinging. I'll be a number 1 with a bullet. Loaded gun, complex, cock it and pull it. We're going down. We're going down. Going down. Nah, I'm gonna be done after this, Anner. We're almost at 12 hours. I've got probably an hour to 90 minutes of post-stream stuff I gotta do still. I'd prefer to do it tonight rather than let it rot till the morning. This hand doesn't do anything. This hand's got a Noble Hierarch. Sign me up. Oh gosh, our Knight of the Reliquary is gonna be a 3/3. That's so exciting. I'd like a collected company. And by that I mean we're fetching it away, so who cares? Move and stuff's going on, Cookie. You're catching us right at the tail end here. I think we're about to get dumpstered by a mono red deck one more time here, and then be done. Who doesn't like Fallout Boy? What's wrong? What's wrong with the little FOB? Everybody needs more FOB in their lives. Tormod script seems good for us. That card doesn't seem particularly powerful against what we're doing. Deal, I guess. I guess crit makes my knight marginally worse, but like my knights have been pretty medium regardless, right? Like here's my 3 mana 3/3. Go. Am I streaming tomorrow? I I might be on tomorrow evening after the kids go to bed. I think Christy's going out, so after I put the kids to bed about 8 o'clock, I might start tomorrow about this time. I'm gonna trade my knight for this goblin plus this Tormod script if they let me. Although this pause implies they have a lightning bolt. Yeah, we're gonna have some Hoagland merch sometime very soon. I actually just ordered some shirts from a place. I wanted to make sure that they're good quality before we put them up for the world to buy. I think we're gonna do, we've got some tokens coming from Inkling Customs, and we might do some other stuff as well. It is not, Mac Weldon does not do custom stuff. Well, good news, they die next turn. Unless they kill Devoted Druid, in which case then they're fine. Alright, they killed Vizier. I would like my Stomping Ground. Like to Knight for Kessig Wolf Run. They're still dead in like almost 2 here, right? It's getting kind of close. Sets them for 8. I could make it 9. Gavony Township. I think that's lethal. Yeah, we just like play it and plussing. We won the game we were on the play. Let's see if we can steal one on the draw here and maybe get a 5th match in. I definitely think this matchup's a little bit better for us than the straight burn matchup because our creatures that play to the board have a little bit better impact in a matchup like this. Just like we can block meaningfully, whereas like the burn deck plays out more on the stack for the most part. Our curve's like almost not embarrassing here. It's like 14 2-mana spells is so many 2-mana spells. If you look at like a lot of what are considered like the better decks in Modern, you can really see how low their curve is and how many 1-mana spells they tend to play. As handy as Kor Firewalker, chat. How could we ever lose? How could we ever lose? At least we'll always have that Jund matchup in our Heart of Hearts Anaronics. The Jund matchup was kind of special. It's something we'll be able to take with us. Whatever. Take 1 or 2 more draws here. Oh, good. It didn't matter if we had lands this game. Just dead to rights regardless. Gosh, could you imagine how screwed they would be if we had a Noble Hierarch in play right now? Just imagine how much trouble they'd be in. All right, so I was a little skeptical on this deck going into it. Just kind of talked about like how, you know, it's just kind of clunky and awkward. Just like what it comes down to with a deck like this. What I would recommend for my preferred Devoted Company deck, I think the Knight combo just like doesn't really add anything meaningful to this archetype. I would start with something closer to this deck list if I were to play again. This list felt really trim last time we played it. It's a touch more interactive with all the Spell Quellers in the main deck. I think there's also probably a good chance that there's like a very reasonable deck list somewhere that has Militia Bugler in it now, since Bugler can like kind of help you find your combo pieces and such. That being said, that's gonna be it for me for this evening. Well, that's gonna be it. That's gonna be it for me for Magic. So I think Christy and I are going to play some Overwatch for a bit to wind things down. So if you want